you can see me, but I can't see what you guys are seeing. It's okay, it's whatever, I'm getting distracted. So let's have a chat. I have been thinking about the last song of the EP, and I think I'm not gonna do it. I think I'm gonna scrap it. I think I'm gonna leave it as 4 tracks and move on, because I've been getting the itch to write something original, and I know that I just don't have the focus to do both, right? I know I'm gonna get pulled to one or the other, so I'm just gonna do the one, and I'm gonna do the original, because I've just been feeling that vibe lately, that pull, you know? I don't know, that certain something about wanting to write something original. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't have any ideas, I don't have any sketches, I don't have any demos. I mean, I've got demos, but I don't want to work on them. I want to start fresh, something new. I don't want to go back to just building a beat and then just write over it like I'm used to, top lining. Maybe split it into sections though, because that's what I did when I wrote Sal. And it worked really well for me, was starting with, you know, just a section. It could have been a verse, a chorus, a bridge, whatever, starting with a section, and then going space by space by space by space in like a week until I had it out, and then finishing it all out from there in terms of production and mixing, which worked really well, and I might give that a shot again. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I mentioned that I probably wouldn't do another video talking about the last song that needs to be broken down production-wise, which, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Because it's literally just harmonizer and my voice. So there's not much to dive into, you know? It's literally just me and a harmonizer. I ran my voice through some MIDI into the harmonizer, which was Deviant Machines, I believe, Pitch Monster. It's very hide and seek. I'm happy with it. I love it. It's not even new. That's the funny thing, is it's not even new. It's an old one just to lighten the load of stuff that I had to reproduce or produce in general. You know, like Sweet Dreams was a bit of a reproduction. I had to go in and tear some things out and put some new things in, and I don't know if I talked about that in the video, but it is an older song that I was originally going to finish, and then I shelved, and I've come back to it, and I'm glad I came back to it later. It sounds much more like what I had hoped it would sound like. And Hallelujah is a similar thing. It's gotta be from 2017, 2018 when I first did it. I even had a music video that I shot for it that was out on YouTube for a while. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, I just want to get back into writing new things. It's finally time, and it feels so good for it to finally be time again. And I'm so excited to finally do it, and I'm excited to see what comes out of it. And I'm excited to write for me again. I don't think I ever really talked about why I stopped writing to begin with. After, I think it was Sal, that was one of the last things that I put out before I went on a really long break. And most things that came after that weren't new. They were re-releases, or, you know, in the case of Paradise, A State of Mind, that's the original version of the song I did with Exquisite and Double V. You know, that's how it started. That's the version. But around that time, I was just, like, I was churning out tons and tons of songs, which is why there was a lot of trance music, and there was an EP, and there were some singles scattered in there, and it became too much about, I think, writing to fit the brief, kind of. Not that anybody ever gave me a brief, but, you know, like, the EDM stuff was doing well, so I wanted to write more like the stuff that was doing well, and stuff that I thought would do well, and I started writing for me, and then around the same, like, Sal was produced under a mentor who was kind of guiding me through, you know, the world of production and songwriting, really doing that well. Same with Teardrop. I got so much information and so much knowledge out of it, and I'm very grateful for it, and it's no shade to the guy who was mentoring me at all, because he's incredible. He, you know, really pushed me into new territory, but I just put this pressure on myself to write for the algorithms, right? The algorithms of Spotify, and I just got so burnt out, and it never really, while I was proud and still am proud of everything that I put out, very few songs came from me, for me, right? Like, I know that's a weird thing to say. You weren't given a brief, and, you know, you're writing, no one telling you what you can and cannot write. What do you mean it wasn't written for you? It was just written by me, right? The weird thing about songwriting is you just kind of get these ideas for songs, and they just flow through you, and a lot of songwriters kind of talk about it just being like a vessel for the muses, or the vessels for the universe. It has something to say, right? And I definitely agree, because half of those songs, I don't know what I was writing about. I still don't know a lot of these songs I'm writing about. Some of them are based, Sal was all based in personal experience, for sure, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily produced in a way that I would have produced it at the time had I just been left alone and not kind of been working through learning a process, right? I kind of tried to recapture the sound of what I did with an EP from a while ago called Serenity, but I wanted it to be something, if I were making Serenity then, what would it sound like? And I got Sal, and I'm very happy with it. Yeah, it wasn't what I wanted. And in that time frame too, one of the things that I was told is that I needed to go more towards an underground sound or a rising sound. That my sound at the time, and probably still is, too like radio ready. I was talking with a friend of mine and they were saying that in like a very complimentary way that a lot of my work sounds manufactured, which is great, and I worked really hard to get that sound. I worked really hard to make it sound like there was, you know, a team behind me, a team of producers and songwriters, that it wasn't just me sitting alone in a room trying to turn out one song. And I'm very proud of that. And so that also threw me for a loop because it wasn't hitting right, and I couldn't quite hit that sort of underground indie sound, but it didn't fit. I tried it, I really did. It was just like the perfect storm of what sound I should have and me wanting to write something that was going to do well. And I put too much pressure on myself. Nobody around me put all this pressure on me, but it was self-inflicted, and I burned myself out. And I hated writing for a really long time, and it would stress me out even just going into the studio, and I wouldn't even do it. Like, my studio became a glorified YouTube room basically for a really long time. So it's really nice to be back and to have a collection of even just covers that sound cohesive and sound like something that I am proud of. And I wouldn't change the break, but I wish it wasn't as long. In that break, a lot of good happened. I figured out a lot more about me and myself, and I did a lot of listening, and I learned a lot more about the sounds I like, and I know what production style, listening back to a lot of music, I like the most, which is what's coming out now. And what I did with Teardrop, I'm obsessed with that. That was kind of like that very big cinematic sound, I guess. Very big, very electronic, very cinematic, but still somehow organic. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited. All that might go out the window when I start to write. I don't know. I'm excited to see, and I'm excited to just work again and get into it. And I'm hoping I can just write a bunch of songs. They don't even have to be finished, really. Just write a bunch of songs and demos and finish the ones that I love and put them out. And my goal is to have a second EP out by the end of November. And that one, I'm going to try to push myself to be like 5 or 6 songs. So yeah, that's it. That's what I've been up to. And yeah, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you around the internet, I guess. Bye.